My dear learners of Standard 9, welcome back to my today's online class. Hopefully, you all are safe and sound at home by the mercy of Almighty Allah. Previously, I had discussed with you about the international deadline. Hope that you have understood. Today, I am going to discuss the motion of the earth. Dear learners, you know, we regularly notice that the sun rises in the east and sets in the west in due course. But have you ever thought on how it happens? It is because the earth is on motion, and the earth being regulated by the gravity rotated on its own axis following the sun in its front and moves round the sun through its own orbit. So this is the earth's motion, and the earth motion is classified into two ways. One is the annual motion and next one is the diurnal motion. So earth has two types of motion, annual motion and diurnal motion. Today I am going to discuss on the diurnal motion of the earth. Here you are observing the sun, and centering the sun, the earth is rotating in an elliptical orbit. And not only that, earth also rotates on its own axis. So regularly you see the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Next morning you see that the sun again rising in the east. It seems to be for this that the sun is rotating on from the east to the west, centering the earth. But in ancient time, man used to think that the earth is static and the sun moves around the earth. You know about this. And the earth rotates on its own axis. But you know, what is this? You have certainly played with the top. How does the top rotate? Have you seen? The top rotates standing on the pointed head. At the same time, it travels circular or elliptical way from one place to another on the soil. So, thus the top has two-way motion. One is to rotate on its own axis, and another is to travel away on the soil. So, the earth has two-way rotations like the top. The earth takes 24 hours to rotate once on its own axis from west to east. This is called the earth diurnal motion. And the second thing is that the earth takes 365 days, 5 hours, 48 minutes and 47 seconds. Sometimes we say that the earth takes 365 days and 6 hours to revolve around the sun in its orbit. So this is called annual motion. Days and night occurs because of the diurnal rotation of the earth. So next follow. The earth has two types of motion. I had discussed already, that is earth rotates on its own axis taking 24 hours time. It is the earth rotation, and as it revolves around the sun it takes 365 days and 6 hours. It is the revolution or earth's annual motion. So it's the diurnal motion, the timing 24 hours is known as the solar day, and 365 days and 6 hours it is known as the solar year. So follow, each day the earth rotates once counterclockwise on its axis. As a result, objects in space appear to move across the sky over the course of the day. This daily motion of the sun, moon, stars and planets is called the diurnal motion. So celestial objects or astronomical objects all are in motion. Diurnal motion comes from the Latin word follow. Diurnus, literally known as the daily, and from dies it's the day. So is an astronomical term referring to the apparent motion of the celestial objects around earth, or more precisely around the two celestial poles over the course of one day. It is caused by Earth's rotation around its axis. So almost every star appears to follow a circular arc path called the diurnal circle. The time for one complete rotation is 23 hours 56 minutes and 4.09 seconds. So the time for one complete rotation of the Earth on its own axis is needed, the time is needed 23 hours 56 minutes and 4.09 seconds. So this motion of the Earth is called the diurnal motion. Now we will enjoy one video.
Movement of the Earth and the Moon. We have learned that planets revolve around the Sun in a particular path or orbit. Let us learn more about the types of movement seen in heavenly bodies. We shall be studying about the movement of the Earth and its natural satellite, the Moon. Movement of the Earth. The Earth shows two types of movements, rotation and revolution. Both rotation and revolution play a very important part in our lives. Rotation. When an object spins around itself on an imaginary line passing through its center, it is said to be rotating around its axis. The Earth is spherical like a ball and spins around an imaginary tilted axis, and this spinning movement is called rotation of the Earth. The Earth completes one rotation in 24 hours. Different regions on the planet get varied amounts of heat and light from the Sun. Effects of the Earth's rotation. The part of the Earth which faces the Sun receives sunlight and experiences daytime. The other side of the Earth that does not face the Sun experiences darkness, and so it is night there. Thus, day and night on the Earth occur because of its rotation. As the direction of the rotation is from west to the east, it appears that the Sun rises in the east. It is only because of rotation that almost all parts of the Earth receive sunlight once every 24 hours.
So dear learners, hope that you have understood the rotation and revolution. Now follow the time for one complete rotation of the Earth is known as diurnal motion, and also it is known as the solar day. The day and night occurs due to the diurnal motion of Earth, and the Earth possesses no light itself, it gets illuminated with the sunshine. Since the Earth round, the sunlight cannot reach the whole of its surface at a time. So during the rotation, what happened? The part where sun rays fall in, day occurs, and the other part remains dark, and vice versa. The time can be calculated on recourse on the diurnal motion. Considering the complete rotation 24 hours, the time is dividing it in hours, minutes and seconds as well. So what happened? Due to the effect of diurnal motion of the earth, day and night occurs. The ebb and flow take place in the earth by attraction of the moon and the sun due to the diurnal motion, and the diurnal motion affects to a great extent the sea streams and air flows. So direction of sea streams and air flows also greatly depends on the diurnal motion. Now one experiment, that means how day and night occurs due to diurnal motion. What are you observing here? That is a globe and a torchlight. You can take, instead of torchlight, a burning candle. So here follow how can we do this experiment. At first observe the globe very carefully. Notice that what happened? There is a stick passing through the middle of the globe. This is the imaginary axis of the earth. The earth rotates from west to the east on its own axis, you know. So here is the torchlight. So place the torchlight and the globe on a table or a flat floor. Next, then place this torchlight or candle in front of the globe. It will be better if the room is dark. So consider this source of light as the sun and the globe as the earth. Now look at the globe. What happened? Are all the directions of the globe illuminated equally? No. One side is illuminated and the other side is dark. You can certainly see that the half of the globe is illuminated and the other half is dark. Which half is illuminated? The half that is in front of the light, and the illuminated side can be considered as day and the dark side can be considered as night. Now if we rotate the globe slowly, and what we can observe? It is found that the dark side is becoming illuminated and the illuminated side becoming dark gradually. But all the time half of the globe is getting light and the rest half is not getting. Thus half of the earth experiences day while the other half experiences night. If we keep a particular place of the globe in front of the light and if we rotate slowly, then the illuminated part moves towards the darkness and at one time it becomes full dark, that means night. So if we rotate more in the same direction, that particular place becomes illuminated and at one time it becomes fully illuminated, and at that place day returns again. So this is the example of the day and night due to the diurnal rotation of the earth. So the question may arise, how do day and night occurs? Prove by showing an experiment. So you have to write in this way. First write the equipment name, then procedure. So I have told you this procedure. At first observe the globe very carefully. Notice that there is a stick passing through the middle of the globe. Light the lamp and place it on a table or a flat floor. Place the lamp in front of the globe. One side of the globe is illuminated and the other side is dark. The illuminated side can be considered as day and the dark side can be considered as night. So my dear learners, follow. Another one things, this is dawn and the twilight. So the part of the earth, this is dawn, that means to begin the grow light as the sun rises, morning light. The part of the earth that just reaches the lighted part due to the rotation by passing through the shade circle from the darkness, dawn occurs over there. And the twilight, the time when measure light exists sometimes earlier from the daybreak, is called the dawn, and the time when measure light exists before sunset is called the twilight. So this is the Usha and it is Godhuli, and the light from the sky between full night and the sunrise, or between sunset and full night, produced by diffusion of sunlight through the atmosphere and its dust. So you have learned the diurnal motion of the earth. Next day I will discuss the annual motion of the earth. Up to till then, you will stay safe and blessed at your home. Thank you all.